And we are live with the last webinar of 2025 for Brizy. Welcome. My name is JP. It's evening here, so good evening. Good morning to those of you over there on the other side of the world who just woke up. And for those of you who should be already in bed, hope you have a good night's sleep. And then for those of you at work, good day. Let's have a look. Veronica is here. Veronica is on our team. Veronica, my superstar, rock star, thank you very much for joining. Alberto is from Mexico. That's a great one. Freddie is from Catalonia. And then we have Nicholas from New York. And then Oliver from Germany. Great. Ashfaq, yes, great to see you. That is great to have you guys here. Nice to see the regular names. Ruben van Dijk is van Duurstede. I hope I pronounced that correctly. My Afrikaans is good enough, so I think Duurstede, the Netherlands. Steve, welcome from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I have to go check where that is. Steve, the only small towns I know from America are those ones I see in true crime stories. So that is my reference of towns and cities in America is true crime novels and stories. Archie from Chicago, great. Stephen, yay. Milton Keynes in England, another one I don't know. I have to go check that. London, Andrew, I know London. And then we have Chennai, India. Hey, that was my dream to go there. And this is from Nibesh. And unfortunately, guys, I'm at this stage where I have to start doing this with my glasses. Today, preparing for this webinar, I realized how bad my eyesight is getting. Tim, hi from Ohio. Hello from Memphis. Memphis, my Elvis man. And that is Cardarius Muse. Great name, Cardarius. And then home of the most haunted hotel in the USA, Crescent Hotel. Steve, okay, got that one. Jay is from Celtic Digital in Ireland. I just played Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I did a mission in Ireland. That's my reference again. Sorry for that. And then Nadine from Ottawa, Canada. And for those of you joining, we're going to be a small group tonight. I know many people already on their festive holiday seasons and busy with the end of the year. So we are not expecting a big group and many of you have other things to do. So remember, as always, this webinar is recorded. You're going to get a link afterwards. We'll post it also on the social media platforms and you'll be able to watch it again. So if you need to put the kids to bed, if you need to go to bed, or if your boss walks in while you're watching this, no problem. We'll catch you later. Thomas also says hi from Berlin. And then Ruben, yes, Ruben, my Afrikaans is wonderlik. So no problem with that. Right, so as I said, this is our last webinar and I'm doing the Let's Leave 2025 behind. It was a rough one, right? I'm not sure about you, but I want to say incredibly rough physically and mentally this year. And then Dimi will be back in 2026 and he doesn't know it. I just signed him up for it. He usually does the keynote and what is the state of development for 2026 and what you can expect. But don't fear, because I'm going to show you a few things that you are going to see very soon in the beginning of 2026. I just want to go through the others. Drew is there from Connecticut and say hello, and then is from India. Great. Nice to see all of you here. Big plan for tonight, and I just want to pick up this guy over here. He's getting a little bit old, so he's getting a little bit needy and looking for a place to sit, and the dogs don't allow him to sit with him. Right, so we are looking at what happened in 2025, what were the new things, and we found that a lot of people told us they missed some of the new things. They find features that they weren't aware of, so we're going to run through all the top features for the 2025 season and just review, and you're going to be surprised. Many of them you have forgotten about. I was surprised at that, and I think I fall so much quickly into the groove of what I do that I forget about some of these new features that can actually elevate my page building. And then I'm going to give you a few teasers, and I worked hands-on with them, though I recorded videos because the internet gods seem to have it out for me whenever we're doing a live webinar, in that they don't want me to work on these staging sites and it crashes here and there. So I made videos to make sure you can see it. And there's one of these that I'm super stoked. I've been on the development team on this for like 3 or 4 years. It's a medical thing. Would you believe it? But I'll explain it a little bit more to you later on. So what we're going to do tonight, and before we do that, let me just quickly hop on over to our Brizy, and I made this very big. So let's just go back to normal size. You should not forget that we are running the Advent calendar, and the true Brizy fans you are, you already know what's going on. But if you don't know, hop on over to brizy.io and you go to the hero section at the very top and just click on Discover the Daily Gifts for 5 days only. We are giving away some amazing gifts, and we started already on December 15th, and today we unwrapped the third one. All you need to do is go there and go grab the goodies. I won't say they are free. They are goodies. Some of them you have to buy. But the one for 15th December, if you look at that, you get free stuff. You get templates, lovely, and you get a nice brief on how to design landing pages. You know, when I started with this, I heard the word landing pages. I mean, I'm talking about decades ago. Like, what is a landing page? So if you fall into that category, go check it out. Then we unlocked yesterday on the 16th, which was a holiday here in South Africa, actually, WordPress lifetime deal. Hey, thank you so much. We didn't know there were lifetime deals anymore. And for many people who are sometimes a little bit on the fence over WordPress, like, Brizy, do you still care about WordPress? Hey, wait for 2026, buddy. We're going to blow your mind. Yes, we care a lot about WordPress. I'm a big WordPress user, and I do cloud as well. You know, I go both ways. And because of that, I can tell you this is a deal that if you're still on the fence over it, you know, I'm not sure if it's going to come around again. You never know with this. And then the deal that came out just today is great pop-ups for your Christmas. And you can see there are these pop-ups. I love this. I hope it is included in the future in already those pop-ups within the templates that we can just use, and perfect for you to start getting your pop-ups ready for Christmas. So that is the Advent calendar. 2 more days, yes, 18th and 19th to go. So go check it out. Make sure that you check out the Advent calendar. Okay, just quickly, Yves Deloy. Deloy. I'm always not sure how to pronounce this one. The French always get me, even though I have a French name, Jean-Pierre Pellissier. I do not speak French. My only good French I can say is je ne parle pas français. Mohammed, good evening to you as well. And then we have, I like to authentic my website on Pinterest. Okay, so there are those questions again. Quickly, let's talk about any technical questions or support you need. I'm not the guy. Just like you, I'm a user. And I'm the guy who gives the development team some headache sometimes, because the moment they release a new feature, I say, oh, that's great, but have you thought about this? The guys you need to go and bother are this guys at support@brizy.io. And I know the moment you see an email address like, oh, support, oh, well, there goes all my hope. Brizy will tell you it's very different. Everyone who's used the support will know you get reaction. Problem will try to get solved, and you have a great team out there. Even me, when I run into problems, just yesterday morning, I had an issue, and they helped me so great with that. So technical issues as well as requests. And I've seen how the requests work. And before we jump into the new stuff, I'll quickly want to talk about that as well. I really see, and I want to give you a tip, if there is a feature or a part of a design that you would like to see in your website, is to give a practical example. If you already have a website and you have a heading there and you want to do something fancy to the heading, that is the best kind of request that the support team and development team can work with, is your real example, not the unicorn, Pegasus, Pixie you are dreaming of, but the one that you're actually using on your website. So if you say, this is what I'm trying to do, I can't get it done, and you send it to support, they're like, oh, okay, let's think how we can do that for you. And I've seen that with myself this year, how many times something was released and we will give feedback, and they're like, okay, we can tweak that. Very, very easy. So also for your request, go to support@brizy.io. It filters through, and people like me behind the scenes, we really keep it going to make sure that you can get that attention. So for all the technical questions, I'm not the guy. You see, I'm wearing red. I'm all festive tonight. Ho, ho, ho. Right. I want a backup feature in Brizy. Yes, we all know. Good. So what are we going to do tonight? 4 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me just make the screen a little bit like so. We are going to look at 2 brand new features that were released like in the last week that you may not be aware of, just to get you into the groove of what is new. And then after that, I call it the top 4 for 2025. 2 of them kind of slowed down the year. You remember the first 6 months of this year? They were almost like nothing new. And people all over were asking, are we getting updates? Is Brizy still going on? What's happening behind the scenes? And these were the ones that kept the team busy for a long time. But I've got good news for you on that as well. And that will be the second part. The third part is we're going to look at a load of the new features that rolled out this year. But then the one I'm going to intersperse, part 4, so part 4 is like sectionized across the whole board, is that we'll be looking at some new features. And I think I've got 4 or 5. One I'm super excited about. Let me put on my glasses again and make sure the other one is also pretty cool. And oh, wow, here's one that's going to be very good for your website stats in general. But enough of that. Let's get into what is new. Good. So I'm going to minimize myself here in the corner. And if I obscure anything, just drop a line. Veronica is there. If anything goes wrong, she will give me a shout in Discord to let me know. JB, something is wrong. So let's go into what we are looking at today. And I've got a website here, and I want to look at the new stuff that has been released this week, just to give you an idea of these small little things that keep going in there that we don't always cover, but remember they are in the change logs at brizy.io. So brand new is the first one that has been a request. And how these requests, just like I mentioned to you earlier with the support works, is that you get some of our partners who come to us and say, I'm trying to do this on my website, and I'm trying to achieve this. Can you add it? Especially if the feature is already there and it's just a little tweak here and there. Wow, very easy to do. So what I've got here is 2 paragraphs, and what we've added now is you set the height and it stays like that. So in the past, if I go to the settings of this column, you remember we have auto and we have custom, and now we have maximum height. Set to 400 pixels, but look, as I drag it down, it's going to cut it off. And that's where it will stop. I was wrecking my brain today, a use case, because I recently used this very similar concept, but I used it only on mobile. I wanted to restrict it so that the column would fit on mobile and not run into additional scrolling. And that's kind of where I remember I used it. But remember the maximum column height, new feature, it is there. In case you're ever going to use it, most cases probably not. You will want to keep it on those settings of either a custom height or an auto height. Lovely, but it's there. Next one is form. Now, there are 2 elements or features that actually get updates regularly, and I would recommend you go and check them out in case you didn't know it, or if you think of using them, just check what is new. And one is form and the other one is pop-ups, and I'm talking about conditions, and form I'm talking about fields. New things are regularly added, and this is one that you may have not known about, and that is to ask someone that they have to agree to your conditions or to whatever you want them to do before they can submit their form. So I have a very standard form here, email, name, message. And what I want to do is before this person can send it, I want to give them consent that I can abuse them as I like. So what I'll do is I'll go to the message over here and I'll duplicate that. And let's select this message, this one let's select that one. And also note the black little square. We call it focus. That is, that helps you to focus that as well. Go to the fields all the way to the left, and under field select type and scroll a little way down to user agreement. And you get this very familiar almost on every form nowadays for a user agreement. And then you can just select the text the Brizy way and say, I hereby agree to abuse, let's not make it that severe, to the terms and conditions. And then you have maybe an asterisk there to show where your terms and conditions are. And you want to place it at the bottom. Just use the arrows here to drive it to the bottom. And for your message, let's just make that again, message. And let's test it. This is the most important part always, is I can show you what it is, but does it actually work on the front end? And what this is going to do is when you have a visitor, a user, and they send you a form and they don't check that box, brand new, here we are, it's not going to send. So email, I'm going to say jp at w4b.io, name JP, Brizy here, and then some message here, and I'm just going to click on send. And it gives me, please fill in the required field. So, okay, and it even highlights it in red. Nice. And these are the kind of updates that have been rolling out extensively in the last year that you may not always be aware of. Those kind of things where it light up in red or where it shows and draws the attention. These are not always noteworthy video, make tutorial kinds of updates, but they are there, and it has greatly improved your user interaction as well as your working with the builder. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this time as a user, I will click on it and I will click on send, and lo and behold, I was successful. At least something worked out in my life. And these are the 2 new features that rolled out this last week. There's a few more, and like I said, go and check out the changelog and you will see what is going on there. Right, backups, let's see. They should add an AI conversations chat. Okay, and where did your beautiful Christmas sweater? This is a good one. Let me show you. Ruben asked, where did your beautiful Christmas sweater from the banner go? And then let's just compare that to a word that you used, which is AI. And the rest of the message is also important to you. But let's go back to the advent calendar and talk about my sweater. Because I wish I owned this sweater. Oh, no, it's here, over here. I don't own this sweater. I was given this sweater by the magic of the design team and AI. Beautiful, right? You know, this is the kind of thing that blows my mind when it comes to AI. It's just amazing. It is such a nice sweater. But, Ruben, what is more important is that there's no way I will wear that sweater. I'm in the southern hemisphere at the moment, and it is way, way too hot at the moment. We had 36 degrees last week. This week is a little bit cooler. But we have summer festive season. We braai, which is a word for barbecue. This is what we do here in South Africa. So that's kind of what happened there. Good. That brings us to the end of this one, of our new features for this last week, just to get things going. So let me quickly jump into the next one. And let's talk about 2025, the top 4. And the first 2 are all about what happened in the first 6 months of this year and what is still happening. And the first one of that I'm going to jump on over here is the AI Builder. And I'm going to tell you 2 things about AI integration for 2026. That will be teaser 1 and teaser 2. But first, we'll talk about what happened in terms of the AI Builder. If you were to look back at where we started at the beginning of 2025, this was underwhelming. It was a single page, and that was basically it that you can do with the AI. But hey, it's a good start. So what did we add to the AI Builder in 2026? A number of things. Just on this page alone, there are 3 new things. The first thing that we added is Facebook integration together with Instagram. Well, you know, yin and yang. And then at the bottom here, also many languages that you can cycle through, that you can generate your website in there. Serbian. And what is this? Suomi. Okay, I don't know what these languages are, and there's new ones that have been added. I just love it. I wish I could speak more languages. All right, so just that alone is how many languages have been added. And again, this is where I want to remind you, if you are designing websites and you are using the AI Builder, ai.brizy.io, then you have languages that you would like to generate your websites in, speak to the support team, right? These are all just a few lines of connection to a AI or a API. And API, am I the right word now? I'm thinking of beer. No, that's IPA. Then that's what you do. But apart from this, we've also, let's go for add manually. I'm just add quickly here, JB Business. And this is how it used to work. And if you've watched any video, audio editing is good enough. And then it brings us to this part. 2 new things here. You can now upload an image, which is your logo. And you can also tell the AI over here to use that logo to generate a color theme for you, if that is the name of the game. this is still very experimental in so many ways, and I find the color palette often goes a little bit bonkers on this one. But it's a nice way to get your image up there, your logo for your business immediately. And especially if you're working with clients, you can give them a product to review very quickly. The next one was a major breakthrough, and that is that we brought in multiple pages. There's an About Us page, Services page, Reviews, and Contact. And at the beginning, you had to go in the builder and you had to generate it from there. But now you can just select from here which of these you need, and then you click on Build Website. These are all brand new things that happened in 2025 that really helped the AI Builder grow. I promised you there are two important teasers. I'm not going to show you, I'm just going to tell you, coming from the AI soon. But it's going to relate, one, to WordPress, and it's going to relate to our AI venture for the future. And the Brizy team has gone in double down on what we want to do with AI. And that has been on feedback from the user community from Brizy Cloud, where AI is currently restricted. Changes that happened here is that you now can go ahead and regenerate not only the entire page that used to be the case here in the bottom right corner. You could regenerate titles and images, typography, colors, or you could regenerate the entire page. But now you also have the option to regenerate just specific sections. So if I go to, let's go to this section over here, precision editing for perfect sound. I can go to the section and say I want to regenerate the titles or images, no images. So we go ahead and do the titles and text. And that you can also do it on an element basis. Hey, this says elevate your sound with JP Business. Oh, well. So if I click on this element, I can just regenerate that one as well. One feature, and this is what I mentioned at the beginning, often when the developers roll out something, the first thing I did when they released this, I said to them, is there an undo button? And it wasn't there, and this is how quickly the team brought in an undo. And it sounds very easy, but this was quite a lot of work. So we go to the bottom and you see you have undo here, and you can choose from those regenerations that you've made, and then you also have a redo if you have undo. So if I go there to rewritten text, it will go ahead and undo that. And these are all the new things that came in with Brizy. And then from here, you just click on Edit and Publish with Brizy once you are super, super duper happy with it. And then you can edit it within Brizy and make those final touches. Right, so of course, you know, when it comes to generating things with AI, you should be aware, if you're an AI enthusiast, this can be elevated to the degree of 10. And that is the plan for 2026 and beyond. So the first teaser, the first good news I want to give you is this is coming for WordPress. Yes, the feedback has been overwhelming. We've done the testing, and we are confident enough that with this new supercharged team that we have, that it's going to work perfectly in WordPress. So if I'm overselling this at the moment, I'm sorry, but this is going to roll out. Like I said, everything I show you tonight as teasers will come out in early 2026. So AI for WordPress, definitely. And the second thing, and I've played around with it as an internal staging site, is what we call AI version 2. So currently, this page is generated on the information that you give it on an entire template. So it takes one of our templates or our concept of templates, and it generates this entire page for you. But what it will do in version 2 is it will generate it section by section. And that will also allow you to add new sections, remove sections, and things like icons will be on their own basis generated here. And that is just the beginning for 2026. We've got people on the team focused entirely on this. I have to admit, I'm not always a huge AI user when it comes to this because I kind of know how I want to design, but the feedback from the community has been overwhelming, and especially from agencies, they love this. So we are going in and making sure that your AI experience with this can be much, much bigger. Right. Where did your beautiful Chris? Okay, so the sweater, any LinkedIn integration? Quickly, GJ. Any LinkedIn integration? We'll talk about that now. Okay. And then Oliver says Suomi. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Is in Finland. This is a place I want to go. Oh, love the TV shows. Love the music. There we go. Right. So that was the first top 4 for 2025. The second one that we're going to talk about is Brizy Shops. And this is the number one reason you saw almost no small updates for the first 6 months of this year. This was a major thing, and it was tested again and again. And I think when Brizy Cloud started way back when, Yves from France will know, we talked a lot about it. This wasn't even in the works. There was no such an idea that shops will come to Brizy Cloud. But hey, it happened, and it's here now. And even though you may not need it now, there's going to come that opportunity where you have a client that says, I want to quickly put up a shop. And this is the great thing always about Brizy, especially Brizy Cloud, is that it is ease of use, and it just makes it so much easier. Now, from your Brizy Cloud account, you can do a demo shop site even if you don't have a license for it. And remember, this is an add-on. We have specials on it now and again, so always keep your scanners peeled. And then you can go and test it out within Brizy Cloud. This is a Brizy Cloud feature. People ask us, are we bringing something similar to this to WordPress? The answer is absolute no. That's kind of what WooCommerce is for, and kind of impossible to really compete with WooCommerce. It's such an established environment for WordPress. And we will look at those integrations for the WordPress builder within Brizy Cloud as 2026 is around the corner. But let's look at this. The first thing you can do if you want to go ahead and practice it is click on Create a New Project, go to Website and Landing Page, start with a template. And then you go here to Shop. And through all of these, you can choose which one you want to use as a template. And these are quite a big variety of templates that you can choose from to practice the shop with. And I found that the ones that I were looking at, they sealed the deal, right? So what I did, because the difference between the one-click installation of a normal Brizy Cloud site and the Brizy Shops is that the Brizy Shops takes a little bit longer. Is this skinny? I've installed this one. So I'm just going to click back here, and hopefully it takes me back into my dashboard. It doesn't always do that, but let's see. No. Okay, but it took me into it. So let me just exit so you can see I'm not performing magic here. In dashboard I am. And while we are here, one of the updates this year to the Brizy Cloud was also the languages up here. There is a flag, and then we have more languages here. So if you want to put it in your language, like if you're Canadian and you insist on how it should be done, then you click here on English Canadian, and I think it's going to change the flag. There we go. Okay, today we are Canadian. I'm going to insist they put English South Africa here as well. But anyway, let's click on Edit Project. And this has been created with that starter template. And I'm already at the half mark. I think I should speed this up. So let's quickly go through this one. The shops is accessed here. You go to your settings of your content management system, CMS, and the shop is here. Even if you're not using Brizy Shops, you're going to see this appear here. You have your products, you can add your products, and this is all based, and we're piggybacking on a system called Equid. We didn't design the platform, we have designed the integration, we made it Brizy friendly, and this is a platform that works very well. So there aren't issues in terms of, can I do this? Can I do taxes? Can I do shipping? These things are all there. The only thing you need to go ahead and set up your products, go ahead and set up your templates, and make it appear on your site. The part that we had to do from our side was to go and create apps that you can use. But actually, it's just a post app. So over here, you can see the products that we have here. And if you go to our add elements, you will see at the top we have products, categories, add to cart, and the price. Of course, depending on the template that you will be editing, these elements may change. But the products, like I said, if you scroll all the way down to go in posts, it's going to be more or less the same thing. But we make sure that the products will default to this category so you don't have to hunt around. Click, hold, and drag it onto your page. And why is my link broken at this moment? Maybe because of what I'm doing. There we go. Whew, sigh of relief, I breathe. And there we go. And then from here, you can begin styling it out. One of my big plans for the future is to do really good in-depth tutorial on how to set up good layouts in terms for news templates, product templates, and blogs using this element, because a lot of people often ask, how can I make one bigger? I have like a featured product and then have a few small ones here. There is no one element that can do that for you. What we do is we construct that from bringing in the same product element a few times, but I'll show you how to do that in a future video. So remember to subscribe to YouTube. Right, and that's it. And there you have a ready-made website. You know the deal. You go and change out the content and you bring in everything, and you can create new products and you can create new templates. I'm going to drop off from the shops here just to underscore again, this was a major release for us this year. And when this was released and it went out, and we are still updating it regularly, also based on feedback, we could breathe a sigh of relief, because it helped us to move forward to many of the other new features you've seen in the last few months, as well as what is coming in 2026. Enough of that. Let's head back to our top 4 for 2025. And the next one, which I actually never did a video on, which you may have missed, is multi-step in form. Major request as well. What is multi-step? And that is asking people to complete one step and the next step and the next step. To do that, you go to your form element that I have here, and this is the basic one that you drag and drop. Go to the settings in the top right corner and go here, and you see multi-step. And the moment you do that, this happens. So now there's only one field here, and then from this field you have to click on next, but nothing is going on here. To work with this, go to our settings. To bring in a second step, you click on duplicate. No, you don't. I always forget how to do this. Okay, let's just go quickly to our form and the icon, and I want to change. No, we can do that later. Let's go back to, click on this one here. There we go. And then click on this one. And if I duplicate that, there we go. So you see the icons here at the top. This is where you're going to duplicate your steps. Steps 1. I haven't used this one because my design style at the moment is I don't want people actually to go through steps, the kind of stuff that I've done this year. But I think this is great even just for questionnaires and surveys if you need to do that. Now, the first thing is if you go to your settings up here, you will see that you have a type, and that's an icon text. I love this one called progress bar. And this will give you an indicator, and I'm going through quickly the progress, the text. Progress I'm going to put on yellow, and then the background I'm going to put that on white. That's very difficult to see. Let's put it on a little bit of gray. There we go. And then the text I can put on white. Can I see that? Yeah, I can see that. And you have the normal controls. You can increase the size of the text as well. I like this one a lot. The only problem is you cannot really see where you have to click next for step 2 and step 3, but this is what I like. So you see if I click here in the bar, it progresses to the next steps. So if your first step is email, you are not constricted to using only the email. Like always, you can add more fields in here. And if I change this maybe to just text for your name, then I can add this here. And that is how you're going to build out your step form. Note that as we go through these steps, the buttons here at the bottom will depend on where you are in the progress. So if I'm here at the very first one, it's going to just tell me next. When I'm at the second one, previous and next. And when I get to the last one, you guessed it, we have the final button, which is sent. And this is where you're going to see all your integrations happening like you are used to when you are working with any form element. When you click on these guys, you're going to get things like your button size and how you want your icon to look. And that has also been a major release early this year. It was actually kind of last year, but it rolled over into this year. A big requested feature, one that you can definitely try out if you ever have this conditional form setup that you need. And then the fourth one, as I scroll down, it is a very empty one. This one I am very happy about. It's called the Explorer. Some other page builders, they've had it for years. Navigator, what else do they call it? Inspector. You bring it up in Brizy, whether it's WordPress or Cloud, by hitting Control E or Command E, and this little guy appears over here. And this is a navigator that allows you to navigate your entire page. If I click on this, which is the section header, it will scroll all the way to the top to where that header is. If I go to this section here, right, and now you see where I run into a problem because these sections don't have names. They just say section. It can be changed, and these are things that I've also entered my request for ways to do it easier. But you go to the block settings, you go to advanced, and you change the name, and I can call this brand new. And the moment I press enter, you see it will say section brand new. That's a great indicator. What's also great about this Explorer is that you can unfurl it, to use a big word. You can uncollapse it, open it up, and then you have also the elements inside. So if I click here on text, it will highlight the text for me. If I go to this section, I click on text, you can see the bounding box for this text appear. If I want to hide it, I click here on hide. Now, one little caveat here I picked up today while preparing for this webinar is that this hide show button works globally. So if you go into mobile and if you go into, what's the other one? Tablet. It's going to hide it on those devices as well. So if you want to make it hidden for just specific devices, currently don't do it from here. You still need to go into the different levels of where you are editing it, and you can do it here. Just a note as well is that the Explorer works like a dream in tablet and mobile as well. The other thing that you can do here, that's also very nice. Let's go to the section at the very top. If you want to drag around sections, in the olden days, we did it over here with reorder blocks. Now you can just do it here by grabbing the handles on the left. And one thing I noticed is that little number. It says 17. I guess it means there are 17 elements, containers within that section. And you can just switch these guys around, give them the party of their life. So we were at section brand new. And that was the top 4, the Explorer. Because for me, the Explorer is definitely one of the top 4 for this year. And you can move the Explorer around. You can resize it. I always feel like Mr. Bean when I say, oh, I can put it over here and over here. And you can say goodbye. If you need to bring it up and you don't remember how to do it, any element, right-click, and then just choose, load quickly. You just choose your Explorer. It will also open it. But here is where I recommend you learn the shortcut key, Control Command E. Right. Let's do a quick teaser. So I have to jump back here. And this teaser is called Animated Gradients. So let me do this. Right. This is a new feature that will roll out in 2025. I'm going to create a background gradient here. And you know that if we go to our color settings over here, you can see from the drop down that we have another setting, and that is now animated gradient. This is going to apply to all backgrounds. Wherever you can think of a background, whether it's an image, a map, or like this, a background, you're going to get it. Now, it's very subtle at this moment. We have the green, and then we have the black that is basically transparent on the left. So we can change the color. I'm going to try and find something that fits the picture a little bit here. And then also just change this one to white, which I like. And now let's talk about making it a little bit more visible. And we do that by adjusting this button here, speed. It's set very low, but if I put it higher, you're going to see there's a fluctuation there, like an alternating current that's going bazonkers. And then the other option you also have here is to set the angle in degrees. And I never know which angle it is. I always play around with 45 degrees. But there you get it. Now this is nauseating, so let's reduce it again. And well, in a nutshell, that is the animated gradient that you can bring in for a little bit of movement. And let's go to columns, because like I said, anything that has a background, we can do this. Make this this one a little bit more flashy. And for this one, we put it on pink. And again, just increase the speed so you can see how that is fluctuating. I'll pause it here for a moment, because that is teaser number 4, the animated gradients that will roll out soon. And then, based on this, there is an additional feature So I'm going to play it, and then let's go back into our settings and I show you what is going to please a lot of people. Now I've found that in this case, and I'll zoom in, you see the bar there at the top? There's a delete here in the bottom right hand corner. What is that delete for? So let's go to the color gradient bar in the top. And as I hover, you see that plus? It's a plus, yes. When you see the plus, click on it. Click on it. Oh, another one. We have steps for gradient. Yes, steps for gradient. Now, currently, it's only in the animated gradient one, and I'm pretty sure it will come to the normal gradient as well. But look at how this has changed a lot, right? A lot. And again, you're going to play around with the speed here. You're going to work with the angle that works for you. I think it's always better to go a slower speed, and to make it just look much better compared to this one that I have here, the gradient you're going to look at is one that is more in the same kind of color scheme. And I think just to show you the demo, what do I have here? I think this is just to show you that how you delete it. You click on it and you go to delete, and you go back to your two colors, and you can add a maximum of 5 stops here. We limit it at 5. And just to give you an overview of, if you really want to go total crazy, you can see the background for text, background for buttons. We have a hard stop over here, that color that you see there, and then for maps. And that is how this one works. And that is teaser 3 and teaser 4, which is the gradient background and the multi-gradient background. Good. Let's jump back into, let me just see, before presenting screen, remove other media. Okay, remove, and then we go back here. Let me just show you this is, I am still here. I can put my face up a little bit there. I'm in Firefox. It gets a little bit confusing here. So let's talk about templates. I just want to mention templates before we go into the roundup for 2025, is that I think the team and the design team bringing in the templates this year did an astounding job. If you're not sure where the templates are, you go to brizy.io templates and you select websites. So many new ones. And again, we have responded in terms of what we put out this year to users. There's a lot of this, especially in the celebration side that we have brought in. Great job. I really am grateful for all the templates. There's almost a template for everyone. If yours is not there, remember that, support.io. So let's talk about, I did the upcoming feature, and now we're going to look at all the features that were released this year. I'm going to run through them based on the time that we have here. There was a question about the LinkedIn element. Oh no, there's a LinkedIn element. Yeah, it's not the kind of integration that you probably want, like total detail, but you can bring your LinkedIn element here. You go to your elements on the left all the way to the bottom, and you look for social and then LinkedIn. And this is API integration with LinkedIn. We don't have control over how it looks here. What we have control over, though, is that you can set up the URL, you have a placeholder, and you have a little bit control over the display. So if you didn't know it, we have a LinkedIn element. Rejoice. If you want to see improvements, do you remember? support@brizy.io. Next one is the Unsplash integration. This is only for cloud. Bring in an image, you go to your image, you select image, and then here from your media library, you go to stock photos. And currently it's only Unsplash. And then I can say here funny dog, because that's what we look for when we don't look for funny cats, and I have to click on search. And the great thing here is we're going to get this funny dog. You click here on insert file. Brizy is going to resize it for you, drop it in there at a nice one. And when you view it on the front end, it's WebP. And if you don't know what WebP is, go Google that a little bit. Unsplash integration, yeehaw. The next one was image hover. What an interesting one, right? We have had image hover for columns, background for ages, but we didn't have it for images themselves. But now we have it. And if you didn't know it now. So as you can see, as I hover over the image, there we go. And this is a simple setup. You go to your image, and as you select it and you go to the settings, you will see that you have the default and the hover state. And I'll just grab 2 images here quickly and then select hover. And for the hover, I would say do a little bit of work. Make sure that you have similar aspect ratio and size. And now I just go back to the default state. And now everybody's hovery happy. That's image hover. Next one was chart element. Now, this one, you need to dig in a little bit. There's one chart element, but we give you 3 charts. And if you didn't know that, again, go to your add elements and you will find it here under content. Lately, what I do is I just type here at the top for chart and I will find the chart element and drag it in. By default, it brings in a pie chart, but you can switch it to line chart or a bar chart by simply going to the settings of the chart. Where is it now? And select it from types. The important one is this one that looks very, you can forget about it. Very forgettable is the items. So let me see if I click here on the pie chart and you click on the settings, you click on 3 items, there is a sidebar that opens. And this is where you're going to add more slices to the pie and you're going to change out the slice. So if I go to Google, the first thing you can do is change the color, right? And the next thing you are going to do is change the name. You double click the Brizy way and you call it JP. Oh no, let's not be that kind of guy. We call it Barney. And then you can change the value. And here you have to do your own math because it's set to 50. So if it's not going to be 50%, right? It's going to be 50-50. So it's going to be a third of these guys. And if you want to remove one, you just click on the delete option here. If you want to add a new one, there you go. So let's add a new one. We call it item 4. We give it a color. Let's make it green. And I give it also a value of 50. So now we know it's at 25%. One thing you may not be aware of is that there's a very strange feature built into this chart element that surprises me every time. If I hover over Facebook here and I click on it, it actually removes Facebook from the chart. You see the strike through and it leaves the other 3. Very interesting feature that was included into it. Never thought of that. Chart element. Animated and shaped headline element. People are super happy about this. They couldn't go to sleep for a few days. Go to add elements and then you go to content. And you see the animated headline is a separate. This is not your normal text one, separate one. Click, hold and drag it. And I've already set it up for you here. This is the animated text, which I refer to. And this is the shape, which is a little bit different. It's a lot different. But you've seen this in other page builders, so you kind of have an idea how it works. You click on it. And let me just quickly check here. Right, that's all right. You click on it and then you go to the style. Here is where you input the text, but the style is where you select between text and shape. And what happens once you switch between these two is that the text is independent. It only relates to each of those and you set it up here. So if I go back and I put the style on text, then I have all these alternative texts here. And then the style, I can choose between typing or look at all those styles down here. Again, if this is your game, you're going to be very happy about it. I use this very sparsely. If you know me for a while, I'm very cautious of animation. It has to be done just right. Two more before we look at the teaser. Tooltip. Now the tooltip is best viewed on the front end, so I'll update everything that we've done. And then let's go view it on the front end. And the tooltip occurs for images and for icons, I think buttons as well, and it's brought in for text. Not sure when you're going to use it for text, but there may be a case that you says, oh, I need a tooltip for this text. And the tooltip allows you to display a tooltip. And I like that especially with images as you hover over it. So like this one here, Sarah Tucker, as I hover over it, I get that tooltip. Now here, I think there's still a load of options that can be brought in to place the tooltip, to work on the styling of the tooltip. Currently, it's very rudimentary, but the tooltip is there. And you can see there's the tooltip also for the icon and for text. However, with the text, once you make it a tooltip, that underline appears there. You're not going to get rid of that. So I'm still curious, the tooltip for text. I think I used it like millions of ages ago, but I can't remember for what. And now I cannot think of a use case where you're going to use it. The tooltip, though, is hidden. Not really, but you have to look for it. Click on the image. You go to the settings of the image. So you'll find it every time all the way to the left on the toolbar. And then you will see tooltip over here. You activate it first, and then you type in your tooltip there. You also have the option that it will only appear enable on click if that is important. And for the icon, same thing all the way to the left. You will see tooltip here, and the same thing for the text all the way to the left. No, all the way to T for typography, and then tooltip. There you go. Tooltip, very important. And the last one before we have a sneak peek is, I think, wow, brilliant. When this one came out, I was like, this works super well. And that is editing any page by just clicking on any of the links in a menu that's already on your page, and then you will go to that page. For this one, let's just update the page, because if I don't save it, it's not going to work. Instead of working on the menu here, I'm going to scroll all the way to the top and use this menu, so you know I'm not bluffing. And let's say I want to go to my services page. Now, in the olden days, before a few months ago, you had to go out here to your settings and load your page. Now you just click on services, and this button all the way to the right is the one that's going to make you very happy. You select edit page, and it's going to load that page. You didn't have to go into menus. And I know, I think years ago, when Dimi was telling me about the dream for a fully fledged page builder, site builder, the idea is never to leave this page. So slowly, you see that seeping through. Let's go back to the home page, because that's where all my hard work is. Again, I just click on it, and there we go. And now that we're back on home page, I am going to do Control E. I'm going to use the section and just guess this section, and we scroll down. We already did this one, and I said that one would be the last one, and then we are going to do another one for coming up in 2026. Right, so let me jump back, and I see there's a few more things that's happening in the chat, but I think this one, let me just make sure I've got the right one here. I have to put on my glasses. Veronica, am I doing this right? This feature, I have a medical condition with my eyes, and many people have it. It's not a major thing, but that's why you need the glasses, and it's called astigmatism. And there's an article, actually, a lot of articles, why dark oh no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to give it away. I just gave it away. So let's go back to our teaser, and I'm loading this one, and look at what is happening here. Can you see what's going on? This is Brizy Cloud, but it's WordPress the same. Do you see that this is a light theme? Now, the majority of you are going, I don't like the light theme. Me, I love the light theme. And this condition I just told you about, astigmatism, is why I don't respond well to dark themes. Look at those elements. They just pop out. So for me, when I use a dark theme, the white gets blurred. I can't read the words well. But in this one, I was in love with it today. Just look at this crazy nice interface. So you're going to get a light and a dark theme. So, and you won't believe that this has been one of my biggest requests in the last few years, because purely I struggle to read white on black. Not many people have this. About 10% of people suffer from this. And it turns out I'm one of those lucky ones. And you can see here the toolbar in the bottom right hand corner. Everything works nicely. Even the blue makes it very compatible. I just love it. It looks so clean. It looks so modern. And then if we have a look, I think let's have a look quickly at the mobile and see what's also going on in terms of the toolbars for that. You can see that. Sidebar, light mode, nice. Very nice. Toolbar. Good. Look at that. This works for me. I'm very happy about it. Like I said, the majority of you are probably going to keep to the dark theme. But for me, this is something that I'm going to put on by default. But I guess the moment I make a video on YouTube and I do this by default, people are going to tell me, oh, you're hurting my eyes, JP. Please put it back on dark. So for the videos, we'll keep it on dark. But when I'm working, I'm going to keep it on the light. Good. And that was teaser number 5. Now I have a question for you. Did you see something there, teaser number 6, in the preference channel for Brizy Cloud? And the next one is only Brizy Cloud. So did you see it? I saw it while I was testing it. And I decided, I contacted Bogdan. I said, can I do a video on this? Is this available for early 2025 at 2026? And he said, yes. Aha! Nibiresh saw it. Let's do it. He said accessibility features. I don't think he saw it. He's talking about in general. But look here, just above it, accessibility widget? Tell me more. Let's activate it and save. And now look here when we go to the front end preview. I am getting cool. Look at this blue button. And when we click on it, what is going on here? And just look at all of these accessibility features. I had today check a few times how to spell accessibility. I can do it very well now. I can increase the font. Oh, and all of these features making accessibility just marvelous, gorgeous. Highlight. You see the blue box there. Some of them are not that prevalent. This is for dyslexia, font specifically just for that. Letter spacing. Oh, man. Everything is just amazing. And I can just see, especially if you're on a small cell phone device and you need things to go a little bit. Look at this dark contrast. Oh, yes. So this means sharper design, but it's going to do the best guess at how that can look. High contrast, low saturation, and my favorite, monochrome. I'm such a minimalistic person, right? Awesome tools. 2026 around the corner, but as you can see, it is working. This one got me really excited. I wasn't expecting it. I guess that's the law of when you're not expecting something, you always get very, very excited about that. Oh, brilliant. I love this one. Right. We have a few more minutes and one more feature to reveal for 2026, but I want to round up quickly with the rest of the stuff that came out for this year. Let me close the Explorer. Block section hotkeys. This is one that I've actually used a lot. For the hotkeys, you open the block and you hit Control-Command-D and it duplicates the block. And then if you want to delete it, you open it again and hit Control-Delete, Command-Delete, and it will delete it. The other one is that you can also now copy and paste the settings. So if I go to this one and I hit Control-D, Command-D, and now I make changes to this block. Let's say I want to change the color. And I can make many kinds of changes here, but I'm just going to stick to it. And this is for settings. Now, with the block settings open, I go Control-C. Then I go to the block that I want to affect, Control-Shift-V, and everything is pink the way it should be. Nice little feature update. Next one. Oh, I was super happy about quality of life improvement was the context toolbar location. In the past, when you click on any text in a text element, it appeared either at the top or at the bottom. And if you had this huge amount of text, it was nowhere to be seen. Now I can click here, it's over there. Or I can click here, it's over there. Oh, man, this is the kind of stuff that I said I get excited about. I know it's not new features, but it just makes me feel the page builder is growing and maturing right out of the teenage years. This one we did a video recently on. If you didn't see that or you didn't join the previous webinar, let's quickly look at it. You have two new features when it comes to the carousel, and that is that you can group, if you go to the settings of the arrows, you can group them now together with this setting. So the arrows appears together, and you can also change the position at where they appear. I'm going to put them back. That's one setting. You can play around that. The other one, I'm a big fan of customization, is that you can select now custom once. And all you do is you go, and if you want to, let's say I add here, let's choose arrow, choose something that always points to the right, like this one over here. And the moment I do that, you see the left is automatically updated. And the same goes for the dots. Go dotty. There are also a few others that I left out. For example, the hamburger menu icon, close pop-up on form submission, and they're all on YouTube. We have videos for them. But I quickly want to focus on, I call them obscure ones that slipped through, and I had to go look at them. I have three. Is it 2 or 3 here? The first one is image lightbox zoom control. So if we go to the front end of this one, and I have this image and it is activated to show in a light box. So we go to the front. Would it be nice to have a navigator on the front end? I guess that's what a menu is for. But anyway, let's go to bottom, coming up. Where are those ones, hidden ones? If I click on this image and it opens the light box, we added this plus and minus zoom, wasn't there before. So yeah, actually there. In case you didn't know it, a nice little feature upgrade to it. They are all pixelated now. And to do that, you don't have to do much. It's activated by default. You just click on the image and you go to open in Lightbox, and those zoom controls are there. Another quality of life improvement. Then this one for custom video and audio, which I barely do and I don't use captions, but this was a request and it's been used a lot. So whenever you have a video element, you click on the video element and you go to type and you select custom, you will now see if you go to playback, player, that caption CC appear here. And it says you have to put in the .vtt file. And that's where you're going to upload. Same for custom sound. So click on the audio element and you go to custom. And this one I think is advanced. Okay, we get there eventually, right? Same thing, a .vtt file. This was a big request. I've never used it. I think it's something I should learn how to use, but there you go. The other one is that you also have the pause animation on hover, and that is for your carousel and block slider. So if we have a slider like we have in this case, and it is set to autoplay, now you have this option here to stop animation when you hover over it. I call it pause. It's called stop here. Pause is also good. So when you select this and you go to the front end, it's going to keep playing. And look at that, there's a pause. Oh, no, I didn't see that before. Okay. Apologies, it is stop. Well, that looks like a pause button, but there you go. So, wow. These are some of those obscure ones you may not have known about. And we are at 8 o'clock. Sure, I could have done a lot more, but I think for this part, I want to show you the last sneak peek. Actually, this sneak peek, if I'm not mistaken, Dimi had demoed this already many moons ago, but it is now there and it is being finalized, and I had my hands on it, but I had Bogdan send me a little clip, and I'll explain to you what's going on there, and it's called classes. Now, I remember, I'm trying to think of the page builder. What's the name now? The green one. Anyway, this kind of concept of linking elements or containers across your site and giving them a class. No, it's not called classes, it's called symbols, and you connect them and you make change to one, it will also change the other one. This is what I'm talking about. So it's a very short one, and after this we're going to say adieu, but let's add it and you can have a quick look, and it's also planned for 2026. So I'm just going to pause it here to quickly give you a round out. This is the alert element, if I'm not mistaken. And what you see here is that it's just being edited. Now, once you click on it, see that there is this option here that says create symbol, right? And this is going to be that class that you're assigning to it, but don't confuse it with CSS. This is just the word we use for it, symbol. So you click on it and it will create this almost like a global feature. And now you go to the next one that has to be same element, and you assign that class, and immediately you can see it conforms to the class, and same for the third one. And once you have done this and you have assigned these classes and you make changes to one, globally it's going to blow it away. It's going to make changes to all of that. I've played around with it, so this is not, again, one of the unicorn examples that I often refer to. This is real, and we're also looking at it for early 2026. Right. I see a lot of requests, and I think what I've shown you here is a lot that has been done. Well, I just want to say actually a big thank you to the audience that has attended the webinars in 2025. It's always nice to make contact with the community, and I really like the support that comes through and the ideas that come through. Often there is frustration, even from my side, but I haven't met a page builder yet that doesn't bring frustration. And I love this builder. I often have to work with other builders. And my wife is the first one that can tell you that I sit here and I was like, why I cannot just work on the page? I have to go into menu. And this is the thing where Brizy got me a long time ago, and how I got into the first lifetime deal way back when for WordPress. So it's been a long journey, and many of you here have been with me. Some of you guys are new, but I'm super stoked because it feels to me that there is a lot more to come. The future, yes, is some kind of AI integration if they don't take over soon. And you see me here, but am I really here? That is the future, and we have to embrace it no matter what. So, like I said, this was an overview of what happened in 2025. It did start slowly. It ramped up here near the end. We did a few releases, and there's loads of goodies that you're going to get in the new year, plus many of these features rolling out within early 2026. And then Dimi is going to do that keynote for us very soon in 2026 to show you more of what's going on. To all of you, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any questions, remember to reach out to support@brizy.io. If you missed most of this video, again, do not worry, because this video will be on YouTube. And finally, I just want to quickly remind you again of this very important thing happening over on our Advent calendar. If you go to brizy.io, you will see that currently for the next 5 days, we are running our Advent calendar with some great goodies. There are 5 goodies every day that you can grab. On December 15th, we gave you a brand new pack of professional landing pages and designs, plus a landing page brief. Then yesterday, for those of you who are interested in WordPress lifetime deal, oh, what a good deal. And then today, nice pop-ups for Christmas that you can download and you can use it and upload it right in your pop-up builder. And that brings us to the end of the year. I want to say have a festive season. If you do travel, always take care on the road. I'm always very nervous. South Africa becomes very dangerous on the road this time of the year. For those of you experiencing Christmas in snow, just note I have no idea what a cold Christmas is like. Not a clue. For us, it is a braai, it's out in the sun, sunburn, and sometimes even the ocean having some fun. Have a great time. You'll still see me on YouTube until the end of the year. But take care, and I'll see you again in 2026 for the next webinar.